What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So now I can go ahead and talk about the final of the 8th anniversary characters in Pirate Rumble, and that character is Kaido, which is the character that I was honestly the most excited to be pulling in the anniversary Sugo Fest. So today we're going to go ahead and use him in Pirate Rumble and see how he actually does. I have done a little bit of preemptive playing with this unit so far, in Rumble that is, and he is interesting. I don't know if this character is going to be a meta choice, but he has some interesting stuff that is like worthwhile to be putting on a team, but I don't know if it's the optimal output right now. But either way, let's go ahead and talk about what Kaido does in Pirate Rumble. So his Rumble ability, the passive effect, will give any striker character level 7 attack and level 7 health. And then after the 60 seconds of the match has expired, he gives your strength allies level 5 attack. So, you know, after that first 60-second threshold, he himself is going to be hitting really hard, and any other strength striker unit on your team is also going to be hitting really hard. And you know who else is a strength striker? Final Tap Kid, which of course we're going to be making use of today. So his Rumble special is, it's the really underwhelming component of this unit in my opinion. 32 CT, relatively high, targets one enemy for 4 times attack, then he targets 3 enemies with high HP for a 40% reduction, and then Dex teammates, or Dex enemies should I say, are inflicted with a 100% chance of half stats for 10 seconds, and that's in a large horizontal range. So he doesn't target all Dex enemies, just the ones in a large horizontal range. So the special is okay. The real big problem is that I really wish he did more damage. Like the HP cut's fine, but health cutting specials are really good when their CT is low. He has a high CT, and while he does target one character for 4 times attack, there's a lot of other characters in the game that can do more damage to more enemies. So, you know, with this guy right here, I don't know how optimal he is going to be. We're definitely going to use him in today's video, see how he kind of goes, and, you know, give my thoughts and opinions towards the end of the video. In terms of the team composition, this is what we have running here. We do have Final Tap Kid, as we mentioned. I was planning on building a mono striker team, but I did some testing before recording this video, and I really didn't like mono striker. I felt like it just lacked a lot of damage potential, especially because Kaido only hits one character. Ace and Yamato are okay, but it just didn't have a lot going for it. So this is what we have here. This is a mono strength team. We do have the 8th anniversary waifu characters, who they have really nice effects, which I did talk about in a previous video. If you guys haven't seen that, go ahead and have a look at it. We've also got Kaku and Toki, which provide really good debuffs to Dex, because that is going to be our target enemy here today. And then Toki provides some really nice effects of recovery and also CT reduction. So ideally we get all of our specials to launch first, and then Toki uses her special, but we'll see how that kind of goes. And then on the bench we've got some other strength Pirate Rumble rare recruits with Arlong, Law, and Kobe. Kobe's going to be a really nice one when he's the last guy in, because when he launches his special, he can automatically make another character max CT, so we're definitely going to be abusing that today if it does come to that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and find some enemies to take on. So I think this is actually a pretty decent team to go up against first. Both Rayleigh and Queen have some really bulky potential. Luffy is extremely bulky, though I don't really think Dex Kid is a solid option on Dex defense teams anymore. I just don't think his damage is that good. His passive is still okay, but it just doesn't really provide that much. And I still think Cavendish is a pretty solid option too. I'm a big fan of that Pirate Rumble rare recruit. Even though he does only target one character, he does hit them pretty hard, and his Rumble ability is also pretty good. And you know, at a cost of a Pirate Rumble rare recruit, you know, with their low cost that they have, it's a pretty decent addition to Dex teams. So as I said, the best case scenario is to get specials to launch and then Toki to launch. So Toki just missed out on launching her special, which is actually really good. So everyone else should be able to go first. Kaido is going to launch first. That's fantastic. So a bit of damage, but they obviously tank it pretty well. The half stats on some of those Dex enemies is actually going to be pretty good, meaning that we'll do more damage to them. Kaku's going to be nice, which can also reduce their defense. Pretty decent damage output there. And then Luffy just missed out on his special. This is going to be really good. We actually confused some of them. Luffy and Cavendish and Rayleigh all got confused, and then Kid's going to come in and do some heavy hitting, slamming down on him, and then we get the Toki special to launch. So that's about as optimal as a first run as we could have possibly have gotten. So of course Luffy is inflicted with the confusion effect, but how much turns, or how many seconds? 3 seconds left. I don't think we're going to get the really cool effect of the reset. Yeah, we're just going to miss it. That's a little unfortunate. Dofi does do pretty good damage, actually. So Kaku being on the front line does get knocked out first, but that's not really that big of an issue. Arlong replacing him is going to be a really nice touch here. Let's see how much damage Luffy's going to be doing. We tanked that pretty well, but it actually fully charged the Doflamingo again. Oh man, that's going to be pretty rough, actually. So even though the confusion debuff from the waifus is incredibly powerful, it just really sucks when the characters that are hit with confusion aren't able to come up straight away, so we can just immediately reset them. And there's Dofi showing why he is one of the better characters to be running. Luffy's such a great asset to Dex teams. You can see they're actually much scarier Dex teams to take on now. More health cuts and damage coming in from Kaido, so that's not too bad to see that. And then Arlong finally coming in with some damage. We got the waifus coming in again. Hopefully get a couple KOs would be nice. Wow, we did the triple KO from the waifus. They've actually been more impressive than Kaido this match. And that's what I was saying at the start. Like, Kaido, he just lacks a lot of good things on a strength team. Like, why would you run Kaido, which has a relatively high CT and doesn't really provide that much, when you could potentially run Jack, which can give you a more substantial health cut at a much lower CT, which I prefer. That's kind of like what I think with Kaido. He kind of provides that same kind of role as a Jack or like a Whitebeard, for example, that can provide really good health cuts, but at that higher CT, I don't know if he's really going to be worth it. Alright, this looks like a pretty fun team to go up against, both Cat and Dog, New Luffy, Dalton, and then you got the two heavy hitters of Doflamingo and Zoro on the bench. This is a pretty good defense team, because while it is relatively bulky, having really good stats across the board with some of these rumble abilities from the enemy, but also the fact that they have really good damage output. Luffy hits hard, Cat Viper hits hard, Dofi, Zoro, all of these units are extremely scary. Best case scenario here is that we confuse Luffy and he resets his CT. We really don't want Luffy to launch, because not only does he do pretty decent damage, but he also can fully charge a Dex ally of his that is at low HP. So that's going to be a big problem, as we saw in the previous match. Being able to let them launch Doflamingo twice within like 10 seconds obviously is not what we want to happen. So let's see what happens here. Unfortunately, Toki did launch first, but that's not too bad. It doesn't mean that everyone will guarantee get their special on first run through, which is pretty good. And then here we go with the half stats and the health cuts from Kaido, which is okay. Final Tap Kid launching very early here, and Luffy actually revived himself. So we really want to see some good damage here. We have Kaku and also the waifus, so it would be nice if we can get a couple knockouts here. Let's see what Kaku can do. Nice, we got rid of Dog Storm. Unfortunately, Luffy is launching. Is he going to fully charge one of his guys' CT? Well, Kaku's down. He didn't fully charge any one of their CTs, which is very lucky on our behalf. Okay, so Arlong's going to be the replacement for Kaku once again. The waifus, when they come in, will give us the confusion debuff, which is going to be very good. And no KOs, but a lot of... Okay, Zoro is actually inflicted with confusion, so if he actually comes up, he's going to get reset, but I think we're just barely going to miss it. And actually, when Kid comes up, he actually might get his special back. Okay, unfortunately, he lost the confusion right as he was about to launch his special, and Kid, unfortunately, just missed. But here's Kaido. Let's see what he can do here. Unfortunately, just not getting a KO. I mean, 24 attack at the time is actually pretty good when he launched his special, but he's just not getting KOs. Man, that's such a shame. And then Arlong just comes in and says, hey, yo, all you guys sit at the back. I got this. That's impressive from Arlong, actually. So... ah, man, Kaido just seems so unimpressive. I would love to have seen his single target damage be way higher, like a much higher multiplier, whether it be like 5, 6, 7 times, you know? I think that would have been way more appropriate for a character such as this. But either way, we're still got away with the dub, so we take it. Alright, this was looking like a pretty tough final team of the video. A fully stacked Dex defense team. So let's go ahead and give it a run and see how we can go. Of course, with this team, right, with our team in particular, if Kid gets knocked out, we are going to struggle, I feel, because Kid is our heavy hitter, and Kid does get a very substantial buff from Kaido, especially after the first 60 seconds. So for the last 40 seconds of the match, Kid has a very substantial buff from Kaido himself, and especially if Kaido can launch, halve their stats to allow our other Dex characters to hit hard. In that kind of sense, I can see where Kaido can kind of fit in, but remember, he is a Sugofest exclusive. He has a very high cost in Pirate Rumble. If a character had the abilities of Kaido, but was the same cost as a PvP rare recruit, I don't think too many people would be upset, and we confused all of them. That is absolutely fantastic. And as I'm saying, dude, like, The waifus are way more impressive in Pirate Rumble. I don't know what it is. They are just so insane. Alright, so good damage coming in there. Defense down is always nice. The confusion got rid of Queen Special, which is so good. And I think we're just going to miss out on any of the more confusion, which is unfortunate. But Kid's going to come in with a special, knock out 4 of the characters on the field. That is crazy, dude. Okay, so this is going to be a pretty clean sweep. We got pretty lucky. Waifus launching early, confusing a bunch of them. No specials being launched. That was pretty impressive. Sober Mask, he's not going to do much. We eat that up. That's pretty good. So waifus actually are going to be coming back up with their special once again. So that's going to be really nice to see. Maybe we get a knockout depending on who we hit. We'll see what happens here. No knockouts, but some more confusion. Cat Viper is gone. All of them are confused, which is so good. And it's past that 60-second timer, so now the strength characters will receive an attack buff. Get a little bit of CT back up. Kid, I think, will just miss his special, which is unfortunate, but it's fine. We're just going to take some normal attacks and get the dub. So there we go. That was a pretty clean sweep. Despite the fact it looking like a very disgusting Dex team to take on, we got through it pretty easily, actually. That was pretty straightforward. No KOs, not many specials being launched by the enemy either. So we take those free wins. So in summary, as we've kind of said throughout the video, I do think this character is a little underwhelming in Pirate Rumble. His special ability just doesn't provide enough damage from his single target damage. The damage itself should have been like a horizontal range at a bare minimum, and while he does provide a pretty good health cut to a few enemies on the field, and does have the stats of some of those Dex enemies, the fact is it just isn't enough of a special. Like, I would much rather use so many other Sugo Fest exclusives over a character like this, where they will do more damage, they will provide a lot more at a lower CT than what this character can already provide. While the passive of Kaido is actually pretty solid, I just don't feel like this is going to be a meta character moving forward, at least right now. Potentially, if we get really good striker characters, we could look forward to a pretty decent striker-based build with Kaido on the team, but overall, I feel like this is a pretty underwhelming character in Pirate Rumble, and personally is not a character that I'm going to be using in my strength-based teams. Of course, he's going to be nice for Super Pirate Rumble because he's likely going to be a boosted unit during the Championship Series. But either way, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video today. If you guys have used Kaido in Pirate Rumble, let me know your thoughts and opinions on him down below in the comment section. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.